Hello, what's up guys, my name is Diva Crown, and welcome to my episode 4 discussion of Fate Apocrypha, and a lot has happened this episode. First off, we got our first major fight between the servants, and we get to see the resolve of the homunculus we've been following since last episode. And this episode made me realize why I love the Fate series so much, but I'll get to that in a bit. So like I said, the first thing was the fight between the Berserker of Red versus the Servants of Black, followed by a battle between a few of the Servants of Black, and the last remaining Servants of Red we have yet to know. And those were being Rider of Red Achilles and Archer of Red Atlanta. Now the major thing from this fight is that the Servants of Black has captured Spartacus and now plans to get rid of his contract he has with his master to make him a pawn for the Servants of Black. And it's going to be interesting to see if that does end up happening, because that would mean the Black faction will end up having two Berserker class servants, which won't be very good at all for the red team. Now like I said, this fight was followed by another fight, and that fight brought upon an interesting new rivalry between Achilles and Chiron, because I did a little bit of research after watching the episode, and from the dialogue that Chiron had, it seems that Chiron was Achilles' teacher in Greek mythology. So that's going to be some real interesting development coming from both of them in the future, since they're both on opposing sides, and like Chiron said in this episode, fate really is cruel. And going back to the red servants that got revealed, I'm really enjoying both of their personalities so far, and especially Achilles, and he's probably going to be one of my favorite servants in the cast so far. Also, another interesting thing that got revealed from today's episode is that Archer and Rider of Red haven't made contact with their masters at all, which makes you wonder, besides Mordred and Assassin of Red, which of the red servants have actually met their master, and how do they actually get summoned without seeing their masters at all? Something very fishy is going on, and I can't wait to find out exactly what. All these mysteries is just making the Holy Grail War all the more interesting and vastly different from the usual Holy Grail War we're used to seeing. Overall, the first half of the episode was pretty good, and I definitely enjoyed the fight scenes here a lot more than with Karna's and Siegfried fight from last episode, because I can actually see what's happening in the fight rather than just being quick flashes everywhere. Now to talk about the second half of the episode, which definitely made this episode my favorite so far into the series, was the scene with the homunculus and him trying to figure out his will to live, and also Siegfried finally realizing his own wish and actually achieving it. And this scene reminds me why I love the Fate series so much, because Fate isn't just a battle royale between mages and historical figures just fighting for the sake of fighting, but it also involves the reason why these people are fighting, and that these historical figures aren't just tools but people themselves with their own aspirations and wishes they want to achieve. And Siegfried's sacrifice in this episode was a great example of this, and something that was missing for Fate Apocrypha overall. For one, it was extremely satisfying to see Siegfried's master getting knocked out, but also just seeing Siegfried being genuinely happy that he had a chance to realize what his wish was and to actually achieve it. And it was just a fantastic scene, and I can't say that enough. Now, what I am worried about is how less of an impact the scene will have once Siegfried comes back, because we know that in the first episode that Siegfried fights Mordred and there's going to be a huge battle to come, so I'm curious how will Siegfried feels once he's been summoned again after he completed his wish, and also just how they're planning to bring Siegfried back in general. I just don't want his return to ruin the impact of the scene, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Now to talk about the homunculus, it makes me happy that despite him not knowing what he wants to live for, he has the drive and will to live even with his short lifespan. And I'm wondering if his lifespan did decrease once Siegfried gave him his heart, since thanks to that, the homunculus did have a major growth spurt. Also, I'm curious to see the bond he will have with John since she agreed to protect him, and just overall what role will the homunculus have within this war. There's a lot of questions I want to answer, but thankfully Fate Apocrypha with this episode have gave me a much greater interest to continue the spin-off to see what's to come. I do want to say before I end the video that there was a tad bit of animation drop in this episode, but it wasn't unbearable, and hopefully the animation will get better in later episodes. But overall, as I think many of you could tell, I really enjoyed this episode. Anyways, that's it for the video guys. Please do let me know what you thought of today's episode, and if there's anything of importance that I missed talking about from today's episode, let me know in the comment section down below, and the conversation will continue from there. But either way, thank you all for watching, and catch me next time for my next episode discussion of Fate Apocrypha. And until then, have a great day.